Hey guys, it's Bree. I had a fantastic time last weekend hanging out with Rachel from Colonnati. She came up to where I live, drove quite a long way for it, and we spent a whole day just going to the comic shop and the bookshop and a Lois McMaster Bujold signing and the museum. It was just absolutely a blast. It's easily one of the highlights of my month. But I did, as you might expect, get quite some books. I do have a couple of comics. I'm going to show you those first. We went to a comic shop near me that was really exciting. Rachel had never been to like a big comic shop before. When we were there, I picked up Giant Days Volume 2. This is the second in the Giant Days series. This is a really fun series about 3 college-age girls who are kind of just figuring their life out. Rachel and I were both talking and we kind of likened it to a Lumberjanes for grown-ups. It's really a lot of fun, lots of humor, very relatable characters. And so I picked up number 2 realizing that it was there because Rachel wanted to look and see if it was on the shelves. And I really loved this. I already finished it. I thought it was hilarious. Then I got a copy of Descender Volume 2. This is Machine Moon. It's by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen. This is a fantastic sci-fi comic series. It is about a young AI boy. He's been turned off for an extended period of time, and when he wakes up, he finds that all of these people are hunting for him because they think that he's the key to stopping the apocalypse, basically. This is the second, and I actually had been collecting these in single issues. I have a little bit of a hard time keeping up with single issues, and when I saw that the trade was already out, I went ahead and I picked it up. I really love this series. I love the art by Dustin Nguyen. Does this fantastic watercolor. Everything about it is to die for. The other thing I picked up I actually don't have a copy of here, and that is Volume 6 of Lock and Key, Alpha and Omega. I lent that out. I've already read the entire series, but I've been slowly collecting them to have in my comics collection because I really, really loved it. It's by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez, and it's about a family that kind of stumbles into this Lovecraftian-inspired house. And then after we went to the comic shop, we went to a science fiction bookstore that's in my area called Uncle Hugo's. This is one of my favorite places in the entire metro area that I live by. It's all just dedicated to like science fiction and fantasy. They have a huge used collection of things you would never see anywhere else because they've been out of print for like 20 years. And Lois McMaster Bujold was going to be signing. She actually, I think she lives in my area, and so when you go into the store, you'll find there are lots of just randomly signed Bujold stuff, because she'll come in occasionally and just mass sign things. We picked out a bunch of books beforehand, before the signing, then kind of stuck them in the car and came back to actually do the signing. I got a number of books. The majority of them are, in fact, Lois McMaster Bujold, as you might expect, but I got a variety of other things as well. So I'm going to start off with the stuff that is not by Lois McMaster Bujold because I'm going to show you the stuff I got of hers and all of the signatures and stuff like that. The first thing I got was Celtic Folk and Fairy Tales. This is a collection of retellings of Celtic folk and fairy tales. I read a similar collection on Icelandic fairy tales a couple months ago, and I've been really kind of liking it, especially because I found that reading the retelling and then reading the original actually works a lot better for me. So traditionally I've gone ahead and I've known the original fairy tale and then read the retelling, and for me something in that just doesn't work. I'm too familiar with the story, and so the reverse is actually a lot of fun. So I've been finding some kind of more esoteric retellings and then going back and trying to find the original kind of version or something close to the original. I got a copy of Tea from an Empty Cup. This is by Pat Cadigan. Pat Cadigan is going to be one of the guests of honor at the Hugo ceremony this year. I've never actually read anything of hers, so I figured I'd pick it up. This is described as cyberpunk fiction. It says that it begins when Yuki, a lost soul in a sprawling urban jungle, loses her lover in the seamy underground chic of cyber sex clubs and kinky designer dreams, and then looks like they get locked in an artificial reality booth and some scary stuff happens. This actually sounded really intriguing. It was one of the used copies on the shelves, and it was pretty cheap, so I figured I would give it a try. I got a copy of Borderline by Mishell Baker. This is a story about a young woman who's lost her legs, and she finds herself involved in a filmmaking project that intertwines her life with that of the fairy. This sounds a little odd. I'm not sure how I'm going to like the execution of it, but I know that Sarah Chorn from Bookworm Blues, she used to do the Special Needs in Strange Worlds series over at SF Signal, and now has her own blog dedicated to disability and science fiction, has mentioned this one before, and I really trust her opinion. I find that she just has very good taste, and I'm interested to try it. I mean, at the very least, I think it sounds intriguing. And then the last thing I got is a copy of Games Wizards Play by Diane Duane. Diane Duane was a huge part of my childhood. Her Young Wizards series was like binge read over and over for me. And so she came out with a new book last year. This is the most recent one. And I was a little hesitant because I'm always kind of scared to go back to books that I really liked as a kid and read them as an adult. But Rachel said that this was easily one of her favorite books and that she gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. And I absolutely trust Rachel's judgment. I know she wouldn't steer me wrong, and I know that she loved Diane Duane as much as I do. So I'm really actually looking forward to reading it now. I think it's going to be a really good time. So then I got 4 Lois McMaster Bujold books. The first one I got is The Hallowed Hunt. This is in the Five Gods realms. This is the 3rd book that she wrote. The first one was Curse of Chalian, and then there's Paladin of Souls. I found this one actually on the used shelf, which was very exciting for me. It's really hard to find her stuff used at my bookstore because it just goes so quickly. And so found it, snagged it, got it for like $3, which is such a steal. And then because she was there, she was very kind and signed it for Bree. I picked up a copy of Penric's Demon. I didn't know at the time that this was already signed, so I picked this up off of the typical new bookshelf thinking, okay, awesome, I'll have her sign this one. But when we went out to the car and I found out that it was already signed. So I left it in there and decided to go for a different option. Instead, I asked her to please sign a copy of Gentleman Jole and the Red Queen. This is the newest in her Vorkosigan saga. I have not yet started the Vorkosigan saga. When I picked this one up, Rachel was very excited and said, "Bree, does this mean you are going to be reading the entire Vorkosigan saga?" I really like Lois McMaster Bujold's stuff, and so I just kind of sighed and I was like, yes, I'm finally giving in. So I also picked up while I was there a copy of Dreamweaver's Dilemma. This is the first of the Vorkosigan saga books. I actually had a hard time finding this, but Rachel picked it off the shelf in like all of 10 seconds. So there you have it. Those are all of the books that I picked up when Rachel came into town. I probably should have gotten a mummy book because we went and saw mummies, but I didn't know we were going to do that until afterwards. It was a lot of fun. I'm really excited about a lot of these books. You should let me know, actually, if there are any of these that you would like to see a review of or that you've already read and loved. I love getting that kind of feedback. Leave that down in the comments below. You know the drill. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Bye.